All right, huge Thursday night football upset. Niners pull off a massive win in a divisional game, NFC West battle. That division is shaping out to be one of the better divisions in football. Who would have thought, man? Rams slide to third in the NFC West. Niners take control at 4-1. Seahawks 3-1. Rams now 3-2. Cardinals 2-2. What a night. Things are starting to get wild in the NFL. You'll love it. And the Niners, with their entire damn team in the blue tent, manage to get a W on Thursday Night Football on a short week. Unreal Thursday Nighter. You'll love it. That's why you're back on the show. That's why you're back with me, JV, on the JV show to recap Thursday Night Football. Usually, I bring in a few topics to supplement a boring Thursday Night Football game, but tonight, no need. I have so many takeaways for the Niners and the Rams. We're going to get into all of that, but before we do, I would like to remind you I am sponsored this year by my friends over at Big Third Down Shop, who hooked me up with a bunch of these really sick NFL hats, including this JV Show one I'm always wearing in my episodes. So you can go and check out those hats. The link is in my bio to purchase them, and there's a ton more merchandise coming, so stay tuned for that. And without further ado, let's talk football. Thursday Night Football. Niners hold on in overtime, 26-23. What a game. I have, let's count here, 5 takeaways from this game for the Niners. And number 1 is my boy Mac Jones. Holy smokes. Come on, baby. Mac Jones looks elite. What a freaking game. He's a warrior. He's a dog. People forget he took the Patriots to the playoffs in his rookie season, right after Tom Brady left. Hopes were low. People expecting a regression with the Patriots. Hell no. Mac Jones stepped in, took him to the playoffs. Now, it didn't end up working out as the franchise quarterback, but we saw a first-round talent tonight against the Rams. We really did. Mac Jones can still sling the rock, man. 300 yards per game he's averaged over 3 games this year. He's thrown 6 touchdowns to 1 interception. He's 3-0. He is a dog. Kendrick Bourne was his top pass catcher tonight, and he still got it done. That final fourth quarter drive, he was slinging the rock with confidence. He's super comfortable with the offense. That is multiple games with a passer rating above 100 this season already for Mac Jones. He was bruised, battered. He was injured in the third quarter. He fought through the pain. He showed up big time. He's a fighter, and he won a huge game once again with a final drive, with a big-time field goal, and that's why the Niners are 4-1. They've looked really good so far this year. But man, was that an impressive game for Mac Jones. His stats tonight, 33 of 49, 342 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, what are we watching right now? Yeah, Shanahan is a quarterback guru, and we're going to get into that real soon. But holy shit, what a performance from Mac Jones. He looks like he's been in San Francisco for years now. And don't forget, the Niners had an opportunity to draft Mac Jones back in the day when they took Trey Lance. Isn't it ironic how things have worked out for this franchise? Mac Jones was somebody most people wrote off. Most people said Mac Jones was done. He would be a backup for the rest of his career. He would never get another shot. This is, again, another reason why we should never doubt first-round talent, or in this case, any quarterback talent when they go to a poor franchise to start their career. Or when they go to a team that's not ready to get things going, to make the playoffs. Mac Jones went to New England. They had a ton of success for a few decades with Tom Brady. Not a bad franchise, but a pretty bad situation when he arrived. Sam Darnold, Jets, Carolina Panthers, Baker, Daniel Jones. How many times, how many examples have we seen over these past few years? Geno Smith, of quarterbacks going to bad situations, going to bad franchises, and they turn up when they get into the hands of good play callers, good coaching staffs, and around good talent. Shout out Mac Jones, man. I love it. I truly believe Mac Jones is playing himself into a contract in the future. Whether that's with the Niners, whether that's a different team that needs a starting quarterback, Mac Jones is playing himself into a big-time contract. I'm not saying he's going to be paid $40 million next year, but there are teams that will need quarterbacks in the offseason, and they're going to watch the Mac Jones tape and say, we can work with this guy. He's proven he can bring a team to the playoffs, might do it again this year, depending on how Purdy's injuries go. It's pretty incredible what he's done. Shout out Mac Jones. Let's talk Christian McCaffrey. CMC is a top 3 running back in football. Still. When healthy, CMC is a top 3 running back. Absolutely 100%. No debate. He is a game changer. Just his presence on the field takes this Niners offense from average to above average. 30 touches on the ball against the Rams, 140 yards, a touchdown. This guy is an animal. Whenever he's healthy, this Niners offense looks elite. Now, I got to be honest with you. I'm concerned about his usage just a little bit. Considering his injury history, I don't necessarily agree with using CMC as much as they have to start the season. It's always been the concern with Shanahan and the touches that CMC gets. 30 to 35 touches for a guy that has been known to have a ton of nagging injuries that have kept him out for extended periods of time. It just doesn't sound ideal to me. It's working right now. And I don't want to be negative after a big-time win, after the Niners went 4-1. But the reality of the situation is that CMC has a long history of injuries. So if possible, I would appreciate if they can limit his touches just a little bit. Keep him fresh for the playoffs when you get there, because the Niners are making the playoffs. And I said it to start the season. I truly believe they'll get there. But with that being said, considering the situation tonight, no Ayuk, no Kittle, no Juwan Jennings, no Ricky Pearsall. He took this offense on his back. He had 82 yards receiving, 59 on the ground, I believe. Touchdown, 140 all-purpose yards. He really does it all for this offense. And like I said, to start the season, you can go back and check it out. Probably one of my best takes of the offseason, because I've had a shit ton of bad ones. When CMC is playing for the Niners, this team automatically becomes a playoff threat. They really do. One player can change the game for this offense. He missed a lot of last year, all of last year, whatever it was, and they struggled. They struggled considering the injuries that they were already dealing with. Just imagine when they get their guys back. If CMC can stay healthy, he's just so dynamic in the pass game, in the run game. He can literally act as a slot receiver for this team. And that's got to help out Mac Jones a lot too. Having a reliable weapon like CMC, a guy that you can turn to when there's pressure in your face, you can check down to. He can get you a solid 5 to 8 yards, up to 10, 20, 30, break off a big touchdown run. That is huge. What an asset for this Niners offense. So CMC, absolutely a top 3 back when he's healthy. Now defensively, the Niners this season, it is a massive difference compared to how they started last season. You contrast the two defenses, it's night and day. And the one man I want to credit for that, and there's a lot of credit to go around it, we're going to talk about it right away, but Robert Saleh has done a hell of a job with this defense. Robert Saleh is the MVP for the 49ers so far. This defense suffered last year. 29th in points against, 29th in points against, 25.6 points allowed per game last year. They faced a ton of backlash with Nick Sorensen, and the defense outright lost them a handful of games in 2024. This year, they're allowing 19.6 points per game. They're coming up big with big-time turnovers in crucial moments. They're locking down star-studded offenses like the Los Angeles Rams in a divisional, tough, hard-fought game. The rookie draft class has been huge. Alfred Collins tonight with a huge forced fumble. Mykel Williams, Marquis Siegel, Upton Stout. These are 4 guys that have immediately been impact players. The one thing about the Niners that they do extremely well is draft. They draft really well. They draft really well in the late rounds in particular. They find guys like a Siegel who can slot in and immediately be a guy they can rely on the defense. This defense is hungry, they're physical, and they show up to dominate. And Robert Saleh is fired up. He's fired the hell up. He was in Liam Cohen's face. They were jawing at each other last week. I love that. I love that. Robert Saleh was meant to be a great defensive coordinator. Maybe not a head coach. He got his shot with the Jets. Again, not the best situation to land yourself in either. Similar with quarterbacks. Head coaches too. But man, does he look good with the Niners. And they needed that. They needed that last year, big time. And now that they got Saleh back, man, this defense looks unreal. They look hungry. They look like predators going after prey, and they just do not give up. They're relentless. They really are. And it's just become so much of an asset for the Niners to have a defense that can stuff great offenses and hold them to 20, 23 points a game. That's a big reason why they won this Thursday night game. Kyle Shanahan deserves a lot of credit too. Now, I'm going to be fully honest and transparent. I haven't been the biggest Shanahan fan over the past few years. I still don't trust Shanahan with a lead. I still don't trust his play calling in the second half. He's been very vanilla, conservative, whatever you want to call it, with Brock Purdy. But holy shit, does he do a good job with quarterbacks. Kyle Shanahan is the quarterback guru. We've now seen Jimmy Garoppolo, Brock Purdy, and Mac Jones flawlessly play at an elite level. Who the hell does that in the league? Jimmy Garoppolo? Come on. Mac Jones? People wrote him off. Brock Purdy? Mr. Irrelevant? These are quarterbacks that should have never had opportunities in the league. After Mac Jones left New England, people thought he was done. Brock Purdy, nobody knew his name coming out of the draft. Jimmy Garoppolo, hell no. Shanahan had them playing at Pro Bowl, all-pro levels. Despite missing your franchise quarterback, your top 4 pass catchers, despite still having O-line problems, Shanahan got it done. He called one of his most impressive games with practice squad players against a division rival. He got in his bag early, had a ton of confidence in Mac Jones on the final drive of regular play when they got the field goal. This should have been a write-off loss for the 49ers, but Shanahan dug deep in his bag, and he brought them a win. Now again, playoffs come around. We know who Shanahan has been in the big moments when they've needed a second half to close out games, and they haven't had it. People always turn to that Super Bowl against the Patriots. What happened? 28-3. For sure, there's legitimate concern there. I'm not going to deny that. I've always said that it's been a problem of mine with Shanahan. But the one thing you can't deny Quarterbacks just look great in his system, no matter the caliber. And that's not a dig on Garoppolo, Mac Jones, or Purdy, because they're playing, or they have played, at elite levels with the Niners. But I'll be honest with you, it's not a coincidence that these quarterbacks, nobody expects to ball out in this Niners offense. It's Shanahan. He's a quarterback guru, and I tip my hat to him for the performance of this team tonight against the Rams. Overall, the 49ers are very underrated. Imagine if they were healthy. This is their third win with a backup quarterback this season. They're 3-0 with Mac Jones, despite missing Brock Purdy, missing Kittle, Ayuk, Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, Nick Bosa out for the season. Having no offensive line besides Trent Williams. This team is pulling off divisional upsets on primetime Thursday Night Football. That's pretty incredible. 4-1 to start the season. They're on top of the NFC West. If this team was healthy, they'd be even more dangerous. So then you think of last year. What changed from last year for the Niners? Well, the defense under Saleh is night and day different. Their kicker is finally making kicks. Remember the Jake Moody era? Well, that's gone. Eddie Pinheiro showed up. He's drilling kicks left and right in clutch moments. And they're not beating themselves and finding ways to lose. I was texting a Niners fan as the game was going on, and he told me these exact same things. Last year, the Niners found ways to lose. This year, they're finding ways to win. This year, they're coming up clutch. They're holding strong on defense, and they're making winning plays down the stretch. And it's resulting in big-time W's. They're 4-1. All I'm going to say, and I said this during the offseason, and I don't want to jinx it, this might be one of the quickest rebuilds I've seen in NFL history. I wouldn't even classify it as a rebuild because I thought they had a ton of talent. And don't forget, all the media guys said the Niners were declining, said the Niners were on the downfall because they got rid of so many veterans, so many household names. Well, sometimes you got to make a tough decision. Sometimes you got to pull the plug with players that, yes, have helped out your franchise a lot, but you got to move on. The defense has young players balling at an elite level. They let go of Hufanga, Dre Greenlaw, Deebo Samuel out the door. And people thought this team was over. I think this team got better after losing a few household names and doing just a revamp of the roster. And the proof is in the pudding. They're 4-1. All aboard the Niners train. Bang, bang, Niner gang. 4-1. What a performance. As for the Rams tonight, Matthew Stafford is incredible. Matthew Stafford is aging like fine wine. We really need to appreciate the performances we're getting from him. 30 of 47, 389 yards and 3 touchdowns. That is back-to-back 375-yard games with 3 touchdowns from Stafford. 4 out of 5 games this year, he's had a passer rating above 100, and in the clutch, he's been perfect. Back-to-back weeks, great passes to Tutu Atwell. Last week to win the game, this week in overtime. He's levels ahead of every defense he plays. His arm strength is still incredible, and he still has great accuracy and ball placement. It is shocking to me that he's 37 years old. He shouldn't be doing this at age 37. We are blessed to be watching this greatness. Seriously. And he doesn't throw interceptions either right now. I don't think he threw one last week. Might be mistaken on that, but for sure not tonight. So if anything positive can come out of this Rams loss for LA fans, it is that Matthew Stafford is still balling at a very, very elite level. I mean, if you want to include Joe Burrow in your quarterback rankings here for this season, he's out for a while now. Stafford could be top 5, top 6, top 7 at most. You could bump him to 8. But, like, he's very, very elite. Like, there's no better word to describe him. Greatness, precision, all of the above, man. If you watch him play a game and manipulate the defense with his eyes, and he's sending one guy this way and the ball is going the other, unreal, you guys. Like, I envision myself at 37 years old. No way in hell am I even coming close to being able to do that. Even if I trained 12 hours a day, watched film night and day, I mean, that's greatness. That is God-given talent. That is dedication combined with great talent, combined with work ethic and grind and grit. He fights through injuries. He's been a dog his whole career, thugged it out in Detroit, and now he's getting rewarded in LA. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So although the Rams did lose the game, a game that they should have probably won, Matthew Stafford still looks elite. Puka looks elite. How many receptions did he have tonight? Again, like, he had 42 going into the game, another 10 tonight for 85 yards and a touchdown. That puts him at 52. He's having an unreal year. He really is. This is an offensive player of the year season from Puka loading. You saw Kupp get the triple crown with Stafford. Megatron back in Detroit with Stafford. It's not by coincidence that his number one target is feasting. Puka's got to be one of my favorite receivers to watch. Gritty, gets everything done they ask of him. Makes big-time catches, catching traffic. I mean, it helps. Stafford's got that ball on a freaking line. But Puka's a dog, man. Having Devontae Adams there, too, that's a bonus. Still one of the top 10 route runners in the NFL. Now, the turnovers, they killed them tonight. Starting out slow, Niners took advantage of that. They were up 20-7 before the Rams willed their way back into the game. The Rams are still a top 2, top 3 team in the NFC, for sure. They still got a clear shot at winning this division in the NFC West. But these divisional games will matter down the stretch. And the Niners got a real easy schedule. I looked at it to start the season. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was literally like a free pass to the playoffs. That's why I had him in the playoff picture. And the Rams, too. So, again, turnovers killed them. Started out slow. Ended off to be a great game. I expect both these teams to be in the playoff picture come January. But this was a glimpse of a hard-fought divisional game that could eventually become something in the playoffs. We'll see. Great Thursday night football game kicking off week 5. Get pumped up for Sunday. We got so much more content coming your way. Thank you so much for rocking with me tonight, and I'll catch you guys soon. Stay safe. Peace out.